Get you through my morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hayesy on Nova.
Sometimes theft can be funny. Only sometimes, Jodes. A bloke by the name of Adam Spencer, this was reported by the BBC. He's 40 years old. He was arrested by officers in Nottinghamshire. Shire?
Yeah.
Shore?
Yeah.
You've had some England experience. Is it Shire?
I've lived there.
Or Sheer?
Nottinghamshire.
On Tuesday, he was charged with 2 counts of burglary and 3 counts of theft. Police said Spencer committed a series of thefts across May and April, starting on the 11th of April at Tesco, then hitting an Asda on 17th of April. During one of these thefts, he took 17 tubes of Pringles and during questioning told police, once you pop, you can't stop. Yes, that's what it's all about.
Yes, Adam.
Because you can only imagine that at that stage the police were like, clever, Adam.
Yeah.
Clever. Off you go.
So
keep going.
I don't disagree with him. Pringles are very difficult to just have one or two.
It feels like that could be a genuine excuse as to why you would steal Pringles. Because you're right. I can get through 17 to 20 tubes, no problems at all.
17 to 20 tubes?
Tubes.
Yeah.
Big tubes too. They're quite skinny now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've decreased a little bit so you can fit more in, I assume.
What about the ones on the plane, the little baby Pringles? Oh, yeah. They're no good.
Yeah, they're dangerous too, aren't they?
Because once the kids have attacked them, there's like the crumbs left at the bottom for mum. That is no good.
They're also about $7 a pop.
Yeah.
On the aeroplane, they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would like to rob a Nike store.
Would you?
And then as I'm getting arrested, and the police like, why did you go down this path? And I said, and I just look at him in the face and go, shh, just do it. The police go, off you go. Go on, get into it.
I wonder if there's ever been any bank robberies through the history of the time where you've got the getaway car driver sitting there waiting for the robber to come out, and the robber comes out and just yells out, "Start the car!"
Yes. And the police go, brilliant. Do we get that on body cam? Yes, it's going viral. How about this for a headline? South Korean millennials are using pet rocks to combat loneliness and burnout. It's both funny and sad all at the same time.
Tragic.
South Korea's unique trend involves buying rocks online and treating them like pets, dressing them up, painting faces on them, and giving them names, and even little beds.
Why are they...
A little bed for a rock.
Oh, why are they so lonely in South Korea is the question.
That's a good question. This trend surged during the COVID-19 pandemic as a coping mechanism for loneliness, stress and burnout.
Yeah.
Some companies in South Korea now sell these pet rocks priced between $5 and $11, with some selling hundreds per month. Oh, you've just got to beat those youngster blues, don't you?
It can be very lonely growing up.
It can be. I was born on the farm.
Yeah.
Born and raised on the farm. I went to a school. There were 16 kids. I was the only one in my year.
Yeah.
I had some lonely times. Sure. But I never went down that level. I never had pet rocks. I had pet rats, but not rocks.
I was going to say, you would have found solace in the animals around you.
Yeah. Sheep, cattle. We had horses as well, but I had genuinely a couple of pet rats as well.
Yeah. Did you?
I still think about the rats occasionally. It brings me to you, though, because back in the 90s... I just want to be specific here. In Tassie, in a bygone era,
yes.
How'd you beat the lonely bug?
Well, I used to collect...
Oh, no, here we go. Just a warning. Jody's about to say something outrageous, which is going to make you shake your head and put your head into your hands.
Don't. I used to collect erasers.
You used to what?
Oh, my God.
Collect what? Erasers? Like rubbers? Oh, my God. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I was a small child, but some people collected Barbies or Cabbage Patch dolls. I collected erasers.
Where'd you get them from? Would people donate them to you?
No,
Would you find them in bins?
The newsagents. And I remember once I stole one because I was desperately so lonely and wanted another one for my collection. And Colleen found it and said, "Where'd you get this?" She made me take it back.
I've said it. You know what? I've said it before. I'll say it again. Hashtag Tassie things.
Now that's a joke.
That was a joke.
That's a joke. A joke. That's a terrible joke.
Best way to start a Monday, Joes. We've said that.
Yeah.
Consistently.
And you know who's great in this space? Newsreader Abby.
Is there anyone better?
No.
Round of applause for Newsreader Abby.
Thank you. Good morning.
So on the blue scale this morning, where does your joke sit?
No, mine's quite PG, actually.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah,
All right.
which
All
is
right.
interesting.
Well, mine's a little bit blue. Do
Okay.
you want me to kick things off in
Yeah.
a really sort of, I don't know, interesting direction?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Why couldn't the lizard get a girlfriend?
Why couldn't the lizard
Why?
get a girlfriend?
Because he had reptile dysfunction. Oh, poor little lizard, eh?
Poor little thing.
Do you want me to go
It
next?
happens, though. It
Happens to the
Yeah, it
best of
happens
you,
to the
doesn't
best
it?
of us lizards, yes.
All right. Question for you. What's the difference between a piano, a can of tuna, and a tube of glue?
Don't know.
You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna.
Okay. That's real dad joke here, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a bit dad jokey.
Nice.
Why didn't you ask where the glue comes in?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, we missed it.
Where's the glue come in?
People get stuck on that.
It's got a double. It's a double meaning. Well done. That's nice.
Oh, God.
There's different layers to that.
Okay.
That's nice. Isn't
But
it?
also, you did stop. Like, you could have continued.
Okay. No, that's not how jokes work. When
Yeah, I
you
know,
don't
but we were
complete the-
quiet. We were quiet, so you could have then said the next bit.
Didn't either one of you, didn't it occur to you to say, hey, what about the glue?
No.
Not really. That's good, though.
All right.
Get you thinking. Get you thinking. It's nice.
Ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
A guy goes to an ice cream van and says, "Large cone, please," in quite a croaky voice. The vendor says, "Raspberry syrup?" "Yes, please," replies the bloke in the same painful sounding voice. "Crushed nuts?" says the vendor. "No," says the bloke pointing to his throat. "Laryngitis."
I like this.
See, that was very PG of me.
That was very PG. But nice. Well delivered. No, that's good. What are your thoughts, Joe? Let's go.
Well, no, I'm stuck on the crushed nuts bit. just digesting that.
Really?
There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll speak about it in this song. Let's talk inner monologues.
Can we?
This is a strange new space for me, would you believe it? And it turns out not everyone has an internal monologue. New studies reveal that those who do not have one may struggle to perform certain memory tests. And new studies reveal that those who do not have one may perform I already said that, but I've already forgot it. See what I'm talking about here? This is crazy. So in this study published in the Journal of Psychological Science, great journal, by the way.
Oh,
really
the
good
best.
journal.
Of all the journals that I read.
Top shelf.
Yep.
Half of the participants had very little inner voice, while the other half had a very strong inner speech. There was a small percentage that didn't have one at all.
Okay.
Jodes, I think I'm one of those people.
Where do you sit?
I don't think I have an internal monologue.
Right.
So explain to me quite quickly, I mean, what even is an inner monologue?
So it's basically if you have a thought in your head, can you hear it?
No. I can't hear anything.
Okay.
What's going on?
All right.
Is that bad?
So there's no inner voice in your head saying, hey, Andrew, don't run that red light. There's no audible voice.
You know exactly what's going on in my head. You've got two options. In fact, you've probably got three options. Of course, you've got the little monkey playing cymbals.
Yep.
There he is. Oh, look at him.
Does he have a
Very
name?
cute. He shall remain nameless, because how could you put a name on such a thing of beauty?
He's
But also,
anonymous.
There's a little bit of a theme song when I'm walking around. And then sometimes the two combine beautifully.
Yep.
And I think that's my internal monologue. Here he goes. And I think that's the extent of my internal monologue.
And that's it.
And is that normal?
No.
What's going on in your head?
Well, I'm a woman, so at any given time there are, I reckon, approximately 15,876 thoughts going on at the same time.
And all sort of clashing over the top of each other?
Yeah. Oh, they range from what are the kids doing? What are we having for dinner? What am I saying on the radio? What's happening at Channel 10? Should I be in the news? Am I on the news? That sort of vibe, you know?
Wow, okay. What about you, newsreader Abby? You just overanalyzing everything, and what's your internal monologue saying right now?
Hers. I know hers.
Oh, it's
I hate everyone and everything. That's it, full stop.
No, on the other side of that, it's, oh, they don't like me. Oh, they just looked at me. Oh, they think I'm ugly. Oh, they think I'm this. It's constantly going. I need to do this. When I finish work, I'm going to do this. Oh, I need to do that. How's Tank and Tori? Is Tank waking up this morning? He's getting old.
Yeah.
And you hearing that back in your voice?
Yeah.
Like it's your voice, you're hearing that back.
Yep.
Constantly.
What's wrong with me?
Oh, can you just do the symbol thing again? Because
It's peaceful, isn't
I
it?
want to be out of my head.
Do you know what, ladies? Jump into my brain and let's go for a nice, smooth ride, shall we? It's good, isn't it?
It would be relaxing, wouldn't it?
No deep thoughts here. Oh, go off, little fella.
I never thought I would say this, Abs. I really want to be a man.
I know. I know.
Ready? You ready? We'll leave you with this. You ready? Dun, dun, dun. Room for two more.
Let's talk about your muffin, Abby. So,
Oh my
Excuse
God.
me very, very much.
what about this story during the week? It was reported a young man was taken by surprise when he discovered he had been charged a $1 standard heating fee for the $7 muffin he had ordered to have with a coffee at a Melbourne cafe.
Oh my God.
Very Melbourne, isn't it?
He took to Facebook and he said they just add it to the bill without telling you, adding he would have had the muffin cold if he had known he was going to be charged for its warming.
Hang on, did you say it was already $7?
Yes.
That is an
$7.
expensive muffin.
I mean, to be like a ribeye steak muffin or something.
Yeah. They're like the ones at Woolworths. They're like this white chocolate and raspberry, and they come in a 4-pack, and they're really expensive, so I only eat them when Mum buys them, but they're so good.
Oh my God. You're a woman in your mid-30s who has to wait for your mum to buy the expensive
Correct,
muffins.
because they're so expensive, but anyway.
Yeah, outrageous little fees that they just add in every now and then. So we were in Melbourne actually, and we went to a restaurant and they didn't have table service. It was just a QR code, which you know how I feel about QR codes.
Just as
You love
confused
them.
as you are, Joe.
And there was a surcharge of $2
No.
for using the QR code.
Most of them do that.
What?
Yeah, most of them have like a service fee on there, which I don't understand because you're not
not getting
a
service.
human over to serve you.
No.
They're getting it through the kitchen. The kitchen's doing it and it's coming straight out. So they're cutting out a person.
And not just that, I'm doing the ordering myself.
Hmm.
So why am I paying a $2 surcharge fee?
Spot on. 13, 20, 14, these little rip-offs that are slowly ruining your life.
Yeah.
It's their little paper cuts, aren't they?
Slowly but surely.
They're little paper cuts. I still wonder if there's places out there where you buy a pie and they try and charge you extra for sauce.
That is so un-Australian.
That should be stock standard.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Breakfast extras,
Yes.
okay, shouldn't be more than about $4.
Yeah, this is your thing.
So if it's an extra bacon, I understand $4 avocado, smashed avocado, $4. But everything else, no way more than $4.
Well, I still think $4 for extra avocado.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
because a whole avocado in like the markets is what, $1 each?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so what about?
Don't start on shepherd avocado.
Oh my God! What absolute little terrorists they are. What about halloumi?
Yeah.
How much does that be?
Oh, halloumi's good cheese.
Good cheese.
And it is in the supermarkets like $6 or $7.
Okay.
So halloumi, yeah, you can have it.
Okay, for $4.
Yep.
But things like tomato, beans, one hash brown should be like $2.50 or $3.
Yeah, so true.
Even less than that, I reckon, $1.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
13 24 10, give us a call this morning. Those sneaky little hidden costs that are getting you.
I think that they shouldn't charge extra for different milk.
Oh, that's a good one.
So I get lactose free usually. I'm not lactose intolerant. I'm just a wanker.
Yeah. What about your milk?
But it makes you feel better. It just makes me, like, my tummy feel better.
Yeah.
And so it goes from then, you go and get a medium coffee and say it's $6 or $6.50, and all of a sudden you're paying $7 for a medium coffee because it's 50 cents extra for the milk.
So I'm about to be introduced to this world because I think my daughter is celiac. So
Love that for you,
no
Nat.
more gluten. Mm-hmm. So do they charge you extra for gluten-free?
Yes, gluten-free
Wow.
is
Even though it's a
ridiculous.
medical condition.
Yeah. It's extra. And if you go to the shops, like gluten-free bread, it's smaller and it's more expensive.
Yeah, that's
So,
ridiculous.
yeah, everything gluten-free is usually more expensive. But in saying that, health food aisle, some great things down there.
right,
You'll love that aisle by the end of this.
I'll be giving that child to another loving family.
$7 for a muffin in Melbourne, extra $1 to heat it up, $8 in total. That is an absolute disgrace.
Outrageous, isn't it?
Ridiculous.
So we're taking your calls 13 24 10. Those little hidden extra charges and costs. What are they? Let's go to Julie. Good morning, Julie.
Hi, Jodie.
Hi. What happened?
There seems to be a theme here with hot drinks, but I went to Adelaide Oval recently to see the Crows game and went to the little coffee cart at half-time to get my coffee and a hot chocolate. And when I went to pay, I thought, that seems a lot because I like my coffee extra hot, so I'd asked for extra hot. And I said to the guy, that seems like, I'm not sure you've charged me correctly. And he said, no, we charge an extra $1 for extra hot.
Are you kidding, Archie? That's not a thing.
No, I am not kidding. Outrageous.
So then,
Yep.
how did you go then? Like, was there 2 4 from that? Did you guys settle on something or did you just pay it and leave?
Well, he kind of had already rung it up on the FPOS thing and I was sort of had my card, hanging over it, ready to go. I thought, what do I do? So I paid it. Crazy.
Yeah, you sound like a people pleaser like me, Julie. I'll just pay it, just not to make a fuss.
Yeah, I know. What do you do? But I have to agree with Abby. The Woolworths muffins are worth, but they're $6 for 4 muffins, Abby.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Come on, Abby.
Come on,
They're
Abby.
more expensive than that. They're way more expensive than that.
$6 for 4 muffins.
Yeah, these ones are like $15 or something. It's ridiculous.
Well, how would you know? Your parents pay for them.
How would you know? Your mummy still takes you to Woolworths to buy your groceries.
Let's go to Kieran. Biggest rip-off, Kieran. What do you got?
G'day, Hayesy. I get up at 5 a.m. and head off to work, and anytime I stop into a servo, I've been charged up to 50 cents for sauce with my sausage roll in the morning.
Oh, get out of here. That is not good enough.
It is not a myth. And not just one particular servo. It could be any given servo.
Right.
And I've been charged up to 50 cents. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely insane and un-Australian.
I don't want to sound like your mother here, but are you actually having a sausage roll for breakfast on the way to work?
Absolutely, I am. It's how you get the day started.
There we go. It's a lot of good points that Kieran raises.
Wash that down with a $15 muffin from Woolworths and away you go.
You're on.
Let's go to Jackie. What's the subtle little charge?
Going out for lunch or dinner on a Sunday and you get the 20% charge.
Yeah, 20% is a lot over the course of an entire bill.
Like, Sunday, day off, yeah, awesome. Bam, take that.
Yeah, and
I think the argument is that don't they have to pay that like double time on a Sunday?
Yes,
so
yes.
they've got to pay wages.
which I understand, but a Sunday versus a public holiday, when it's a public holiday surcharge, I can absolutely understand it. The other thing as well is that sometimes you're in there, you've had a meal or whatever, and then you don't understand that there's a 20% surcharge until you go to pay it towards the end. And that can really sting your pocket.
Yeah, sure can, especially for someone like you who can be a little bit tidy.
Excuse me very much.
Let's go to Geo. Geolicious. Hello.
Good. How are you?
No, we're
I'm
good.
Hello.
What'd you get slugged for, Geo?
Oh, when you've sat down, you've had a nice meal, but you've over-ordered,
Yep.
and then you ask for a takeaway container, and that gets flipped on the bill, $1, $2 for a container.
Does that happen, Joe? I've never really noticed that because, I definitely want to take stuff home if there's spare food there. Does it cost you extra few bucks?
It's definitely not all the time, but sometimes it's just like, oh, wow, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Refer to my previous point about you being a bit tidy.
Okay, even I'm noticing there's a bit of a trend here.
We had a team lunch yesterday and Hayesy just ate off everyone else's
Oh,
plate.
that is not true.
Actually did. And then this morning I had a toasted sandwich and you went, can I have a bite of that? And I said, yes, absolutely. Here, have half.
Oh my God, this is just, I'm not sure what gaslighting is, but maybe it's sort of, I said to you, you said you want to buy it. And I said, look, if you can't finish it, I tried to gaslight you and say, I'll do you a favour and finish.
Yes, I know. But having said that, you never share your food with me ever.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about relationships for just one moment, can we? Have you ever looked at that old couple that are walking down the street and they're holding hands and they've been together for 60 years and you go, how'd you guys do it?
Yeah, geez, they've both got some stories to tell.
Yes. So a couples therapist has noticed 7 signs of couples who made it. So these are the qualities that got people to the other side of the marriage battleground, if you will. So there's 7 things here, and as I say them, I want you to mentally tick them off and see if that's what you're doing in your marriage to Cara. And play along at home, please. Have a think about, okay, do we do that or do we not do that? And
sorry.
and for the purposes of this exercise, I've brought in producer Zoe, who's only in her 20s, but has just been through a relationship breakup. So here's a few hints and tips for you to maybe get through the next time.
I'm really appreciative to be here. Thank you.
Too soon? Tell me if it's too soon.
No, well, we're here.
Okay. All right. The first one that the therapist noticed about these couples is that they were friends and they genuinely enjoyed each other's.
That's the most important thing.
And they genuinely enjoyed each other's company, and they were excited to come home and hear about each other's day. So that's the first one.
Well, I had that, so we'll see where I lack.
They had difficult conversations. Well, you had a difficult conversation with you. It was like, this is done.
Yeah.
No, so they didn't cope by avoiding or denying that anything was wrong. So they hit things head on.
Yeah, that's hard. And that's really hard for your stock standard bloke to open up and talk about what's exactly on your feelings. And you're about to jump in and say, that's me to an absolute T. My wife will say as well, she said it the other day, she'll be like, I'll speak to you week after week. What's going on? What's going on? I go, nothing. And then one night, maybe after a beer and a half, I'd be like, hey, I'm ready to talk for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
And she's like, I want to watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I just want to watch the football.
Yeah.
For goodness sake.
This is a good one. They take the mickey out of each other. So you make light of each other's quirks. So you might get annoyed by them sometimes. And let's be honest, when you first start out in a relationship, everything they do is cute. But after 6-7 years, it's like, that is so annoying. But you can still take the PI55 out of it, which is important as well. They let each other be themselves. So they didn't want to change the other person.
Yeah.
That's really important,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you go into a relationship, and this is from a guy who's such an expert in relationship
Aren't you
advice.
just?
If you go into a relationship thinking that there's an ideal person that your partner could be and you think that you could eventually change them over time.
Wrong.
You probably won't.
Yeah.
You probably won't be able to change them.
And you fell in love with that person because of who they are, right? So I don't know why you would ever go in with the intention of changing someone.
Don't change us because we are who we are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Hello.
Once a horse, always a horse.
That's fine, aren't you?
The next one is they fight. So you get frustrated sometimes, but you learn how to navigate that frustration by actually getting into it. But navigating conflict well.
Just to paint a picture here, this is not a visual medium, but Jodie goes, they learn to get into it. And she did that little thing you do with your fist, like
when
bang.
you're threatening someone.
So what are you talking about exactly?
Well, that's the best way to resolve a conflict. Anyway.
You're married to a former ice hockey player as well. The amount of times that Jodes and Greg Oddie have had an issue and then it ends up with Jodie with her shirt over her back, ice hockey style,
I know.
drops the mittens, bang into it.
There we go. They have boundaries with families, so you don't vent to the family or the kids about how mum and dad annoy each other. That's a big one too. And they do what's best for their partnership and the relationship. And the last one is they've been through dark times. This one almost makes me cry because it's those people that have been at the crossroads and you've even had second thoughts and you've thought, do I want to continue in this? But you've decided, yes, I choose to stay. I choose to be with you. And that, they say, the experts, builds trust. So if you've been to war with someone and you got through that war and you say, I still want to fight alongside you, then there you go.
There you go. That's really nice. It's quite in depth.
It's quite profound.
Do you know what my wife and Cara and I have right now as well? And it was her idea because the most testing time, I think, possibly in a relationship, what I found is when you've got kids and when you're trying to work out what sort of parent you are. And I know that my wife is an excellent parent. So I'm sort of trying to get tips on how to do it from her as well at the same time. But you get sort of angry and you get sort of snarky and sometimes you take out your aggression on each other. But it's clearly the kids that are pissing you off, let's be honest. So now we've got this, it's almost like a safe word, which is trenches.
Really?
Like we're in the trenches. This is when you're in the trenches. So just know. And then straight away, so I need a safe word from Cara as well. If she says just trenches, I'll go, yes, all right, I am taking it out on you and vice versa.
Wow,
Let's just stay on the straight and
No
narrow.
one saw that coming from you. No one saw it.
What the hell is going on?
Zoe's crying.
What about old
Em's got tears in her eyes.
leaky eyes McGee over here? What's going on?
God, enough of that. Christ.
What's it? This emotion. What are we doing? How good's footy?
Parents of children who have been bullied on social media will be punching the air at the news that Peter Malinowskis wants to ban children under 14 from all of the platforms. So we're talking Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram and X. So it would be Australia First legislation that will be proposed by Mr Malinowskis, and if it goes through, that will go through by the 2026 election.
Hard to disagree with a move like this.
There's been much examination and consequential evidence to suggest that addictive algorithms are being used to draw young people in a way that their developing minds are just not capable to be able to deal with. And that in turn causes them great vulnerability to mental health issues.
My God, social media is dangerous.
And I don't think this is the first generation that we will see the full impact of social media down the track on our mental health. Now, it is no coincidence that the rise in mental health problems coincides with the introduction of all of these platforms. What annoys me no end about these people that make an absolute fortune from these social media platforms is that there is zero regulation. Anyone can jump on the internet and say anything about anyone else without there being any hint of defamation. And I just don't understand how they can get away with it. Can you?
No, it is mind-boggling. So, I mean, the easy thing to say in a situation like this, particularly when there's hate that comes through, is just ignore it and things like that. But that's so much easier said than done. And the first time you actually see some hateful comments come towards you. And I used to do radio show, as you know, with Kane Corns, who turned it into I'd say a positive situation. He'd do mean tweets and all these types of things, but he had to learn how to handle it. And the first time some comments came towards me, it's like, genuinely, it's hard to process.
Yeah.
And eventually you do get used to it, but that's coming from someone who's in their mid-30s.
Yeah, but we're
processing that versus being
kids.
a child. We're still trying to develop your own sort of brain and everything that comes with it, and then you're dealing with hateful comments. That's disgusting.
We're human beings and we're conditioned to want to be liked and want to be loved. So it goes against everything that we're wired to do. But also, I'm trying to teach my girls to be kind people. And it's not just the other kids that are nasty. It's when they jump on social media and they see other adults being horrible to each other. I mean, what sort of standard are we setting when we've got keyboard warriors just deliberately going online to troll other people?
Yes.
Like, it's not a nice space. And unless it gets cleaned up, I don't want kids under 14 on there. Yeah. I don't want their young, developing, sensitive brains to be exposed to the hate from other kids and or adults.
Particularly mid-teens, that is such a vulnerable age for self-development. Confidence issues can start at any age, but particularly there where you're genuinely trying to find yourself, work yourself out, and you're dealing with external pressure like that is just... it's ridiculous.
And that hasn't even touched on the predators online who are preying on young girls and young boys and pretending to be someone else. We need to clean all this stuff up before we even think about letting children get on the internet.
It's got full votes here. I don't think there's anyone here in this room that doesn't agree with what Peter Malinowskis is trying to put in. 13 24 10. Do you think a social media ban will work? And also, have you already implemented something like this at your house? What's your social media policy at home?
I'm super keen to know because I had my 11-year-old begging me for Snapchat on the weekend. And I was like, absolutely not. And she's like, why not? All the other kids have got it. I'm like, I am doing this for your own good and I am trying to protect you from social media, and one day you will thank me.
Yes.
Just not tomorrow, not the next day, but one day you'll thank me.
It's just another hurdle, I think, for a lot of parents, and that is tackling social media at an early age. Your social media policy, give us a call, 13 24 10. Peter Malinowskis has implemented something which I think so many parents will very much connect with.
Well, he hasn't just yet, but he's trying to. It would be an Australian first legislation proposed by Mally, saying that social media platforms will require users to be at least 13 to start an account. Such a good thing. I think the longer you can hold off your kids being exposed to social media, the better off we'll all be.
I mean, the broader one is just tablets in general, screen time, even YouTube and things like that, where there's genuine interaction. In the good old days, Jodes, social media didn't sort of come into my life until around the age of sort of 23, 24. Even then, it took me a while to sort of get around the Facebook.
I mean, all I did as a child was just etch things on the side of a cave.
Spot on.
And that was it.
I know.
I thought I'd get in first before you did, Abby.
Hashtag Tassie things.
Just sort of grunt, you know?
Yeah.
I think I was the last generation of not having social media at home. Like going home and, you know, if you were bullied at school, it was just school and then you went home and you could cut, like it didn't extend onto social media.
Yeah.
Even on MSN and things like that, there wasn't much because you would only connect with the people that you would want to connect with. So there wasn't any bullying or anything like that. It was generally quite a really low in terms of just how fancy it was, but it's quite wholesome.
Do you know what blows my mind? Do you know what absolutely blows my mind? That people can be a-holes on the internet and your photo is there and your place of work is there. Yeah. And there are quite often pictures of people with their family on there.
Well, a lot of people
they're content with being mean.
A lot of people are getting themselves in trouble because people see their workplace, they ring the workplace and say, hey, this is what this person's been saying, and it's crossing over into their everyday life.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that happen.
Imagine being that stupid.
I know.
Seriously.
Let's go to Megan because we're asking the question this morning. What's the social media policy with your kids? What do you do with yours, Megan?
So we've got a no social media policy as well. She, got her phone for the first time, which I was even hesitant to give it to her at 12. But all her friends had it, so we've agreed to a phone. But there's no Snapchat, there's no Instagram, there's no Facebook, and all of those sort of platforms. The agreement, and we've said to her that if she gets caught with it, then she loses her phone.
Yeah,
she'll just have her phone for going to the shop when she wants to go to a shop on her own and have a look at something, and I'll be able to contact her.
Yeah,
we're trying to encourage an incentive of no social media until she's 17.
Okay,
with an incentive of how about we go halves in the car? How about we go halves in the car? You stay off social media and you agree to no social media until you're 17. We'll go halves in the car.
Perfect.
That's good.
But yeah, it's really hard when all of the friends have it. But the key thing for me was speaking to a family friend that's a police officer, and they said that hackers these days have actually gotten really, really clever with bypassing all the security settings on there. So even if you have location services turned off, a really good hacker can actually bypass those security settings and pinpoint where your child is.
It's horrifying.
Right down to the street name,
horrifying.
Address, number, everything.
Yeah,
and that was my argument to my daughter of, you can turn those things off. But if a hacker really wants to find you, they can. And, that's just not cool.
Yeah,
no.
Absolutely, Megan. Well done. Thank you. Let's go to Angela. Your thoughts on social media with your kids?
Morning, guys. I'm like you guys in full agreement to this. I think it should be a ban for the whole of schooling until the kids graduate. Our agreement is that the kids can't have any social media platforms until they finish school. They need to concentrate on schooling. My husband and I are police officers, and we've come face to face with the tragedy that social media has on families. It rips them apart. We are very honest with our children. We do not hide this issue. And when my kids ask how they tackle, the pressures from school, we've said to them, tell them it's not your parents saying no, you're saying no. You have the power to say, I don't want to be on social media. I want my safe space at home. I don't want it. And so far, so good. Their friends haven't pressured them, bullied them. If they want to get in contact, they call like the old days or a text. And so far, it's working really well.
That's good.
Well-rounded kids with no mental health issues, and it seems to be working for us, and I think it can work for everyone.
Yeah, thank you. The one that always gets me in that space when you talk about police officers is the Carly Ryan one, and there's plenty of good resources on the Carly Ryan Foundation website where it can help you get your kids off social media, and if that is not a tale of warning, then I don't know what is.
Yep. Jodes, what I've noticed through parenthood and watching what my lovely wife Cara does and how she brings up the kids is, parenting from the female perspective can be very, very taxing. And I'm not just going to say mentally, but oh my gosh, physically as well.
Oh my God.
In particular, breastfeeding.
Yeah, it's like if you've got a parasite living inside you and then it comes outside your body and it attaches itself to you for another 6 months.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't it a beautiful thing?
Isn't it a joy? Isn't breastfeeding a beautiful thing?
What about this little exchange from a couple based in New York? Surprise, surprise. A husband has texted his wife that he wants to end their marriage because of an outrageous reason. In an exchanging message, he accuses her of incest over a disrespectful act shortly after she had given birth. The disrespectful act is breastfeeding their son. He said, "You know how I feel about it." The couple, whose name is April and Jonathan, on Twitter, he explained, "You've been breastfeeding. You know how I effing feel about this." April was taken back and asked when her husband is coming to get her. He then responds, "I don't know if I am." The new mum then offered, "If you don't like seeing it, maybe I can just do it in a different room." He said, you go behind my back and do something I've stressed about not doing. It's a proven scientific fact that breast milk is no better than modern formula, and I'll never be able to look at you the same way again. I think you're a bad wife. I think you don't respect me. I think you took a joy away from me. I think a lot of things. I enjoy your boobs. Now they've been in another man's mouth, I no longer enjoy your boobs.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Do you know what my response to that would be? I don't want your mouth on my boobs anymore. You're disgusting. Yeah. You're a revolting human being. And you're also a bit screwed up in the head.
100%. Imagine being jealous and fighting effectively with a few-day-old baby.
Yeah. I mean, over what is the most natural act in the world. What a peanut. I've heard some weird stuff in my time in radio, but that is up there in the top 3.
That's got to be, I was going to say 1 in a million. That's got to be almost 1 in a billion. A bloke thinks like that, surely.
What a moron.
I don't want to go too far aggressively the other way, but, I used to hear it, quite seriously, I used to hear stories about how women would say that if they saw a man being a father, just how much it would turn them on, like quite seriously.
Yeah.
I understand that now from a different perspective.
Yeah.
When I watch my wife do what she does with the kids, and even things like breastfeeding and all these things, which she's so unbelievably good at. She's got the patience of someone who's get tested to their core. I'm extremely turned on. Like, seriously, watching her be a mother, and because she's so good at it, I tell you what, makes my ovaries pop.
Wow. That's so very sweet.
Is that inappropriate?
Well, I mean, if you were to sit here and say watching her breastfeed turns you on, I would say that would be a little bit strange. But no, I get what you're saying. It makes you love her more and mildly aroused because she's such a good mother.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's beautiful.